pictures and trying to concentrate, keep the class going and moving. And then the chickens from the outside yard come walking into the classroom. So that makes it kind of a unique, lively class there. Then one Sunday I went to church, and we had one light bulb. It was way in the corner. Well, it was a small room, but it was in the corner, very corner of the rectangle room. But we had a light bulb, so we could keep the door shut now. The only problem with that, no chickens, but it's hot. We have little tiny small windows up at the top, and it's made of cement walls, and yeah, so it gets pretty warm in there. Well, we didn't have chickens anymore. After the class, the children are served a breakfast. They get some bread and some oatmeal kind of drink. And for some of the kids, that's what they get for breakfast that day. They love doing coloring and crafts when we do that in class. One week, they didn't have much time because I guess I talked for a long time, which you probably can't imagine, but I talked for a long time, and we, the Bible story too long. So I said, well, just take your paper home and color it there. That's pretty, normal, I thought. And they're, but Wendy, we don't have crayons at home. And I was surprised. But I guess if it's a choice between buying some food and buying a pack of crayons, or colored pencils. So for Christmas, I bought the younger kids crayons and the older kids a pack of colored pencils with a little eraser and a little sharpener so they could use them for a longer time. And you should have seen their eyes light up. Wow. And they were so excited because then they could finish coloring their pictures at home. One week I went to class and we had a table. So now instead of sitting on the floor, the cement floor, we can sit at a table in our chairs and color the pictures. So that was also neat. It's really rewarding when you walk into the building and a little girl, Dailene or Addison or maybe Charles, comes running up and gives you a great big hug. And when the moms come up and they say, thank you for teaching our children. These moms didn't grow up in a Christian home. They didn't grow up learning all the stories in church. And so when they show the appreciation that you can teach them. Please pray for these kids. They haven't been allowed to go to school. They're stuck in their house, which is probably for a lot of them a row house with just a door in the front and maybe a door in the back for months. They maybe now can go outside for half an hour sometimes, but right close to their house. And it's just been really hard for them. So just especially pray for the children. Thank you.
Some of the ministries I'm involved in, our mission, ABWE, has a series of Bible study courses and teaching called Good Soil. And basically it goes through the Bible from Genesis through Revelation. And they have different levels, some for either unsaved people, new believers would be one course. One that's a little more in depth that would be for believers that are a little more developed spiritually. And now they have some that they're developing for concentration on, one is called Roots of Faith, and it emphasizes the Old Testament, and it goes more in detail, and they have another one for the New Testament. Well, Wendy didn't have any training in Good Soil, so we went to the training, and it was in English in Bogota, Colombia. When I was there, I was asked by John Stone if I would teach, because they were going to offer that same course, but in Spanish in Lima. So I went there early this year and was able to take Pastor Hugo de Agua from my church to go and be exposed to this material so he could go back and use it in our church. I'm using it with Pedro that I'm discipling. And I also, the brother of the pastor in Flor de Punga was in Iquitos getting some pieces to the, they have a bakery and they needed some, to repair the machine to make the bread. And he came over to our house. And so I said, hey, when I was in Flor de Punga, the lady that was teaching the class there, the women's Sunday school class said, could you, Pastor, could you help me get some material to teach the ladies? So I said, I'm going to look for something. I didn't have anything. And so I had some old versions of this material. So I said, look, here are 15, 20 that I want to send with you to take along the river to give to the ladies so that they can use it in their class. So he's looking over and he says, no, this isn't going to the ladies. This is going to be for the elders of the church. So that's going, and now I still need to get the ladies something. So just to give you an idea, but we're using this material. It's been very effective, either helping people to come to know the Lord or others to help them in their faith. The church that we're involved in, Peniel, most of them, all of them are new believers. So they're very excited about whatever I teach. They're very excited and receiving that and putting it into practice. And just if you would be praying in prayer for, they have a lot of economic need. They needed, they were poor before COVID, and now they're much worse, but they're faithful. So please pray for the Benel Church. I'm also involved at the Institute, and it involves, I just want to share one challenge, but I've really enjoyed it, helping these pastors and leaders so that they can be more effective in their churches, or if they're ministering or witnessing, going out sharing the gospel, so they can be more effective. And we have ladies and we have men there too. And one of the courses that I taught was biblical geography. And I found out very few of the students that went to the Institute wanted to take that course. But it wasn't because I was teaching it. It's because, and so I'm just sharing this, not to reflect on their culture, but to just show you some of our challenges. Can you imagine teaching biblical geography to a culture that has no concept of a map? Mm-hmm. It's very hard. In their whole lives, they've never used a map. They've seen it on TV, maybe on their cell phone, but they've never used one. This map, this is where you are, and this is where you need to go. And this is the river, or this is the mountain. They have absolutely no idea what it means. So these are some of the things that we work through. But it's been a great experience, and we're looking forward to getting back. Pray that we'll, as we had shared this morning please pray that we'll know how to best get these classes to them during this COVID quarantine. I'm not going to get into the details, but I just want to challenge you with this. In Luke 9, basically tells us to take up our cross and follow him. And, there is nothing in this world that's worth keeping and not following the Lord. And where should we be? What should we be doing? Exactly where he wants us to be. Exactly what he wants us to do. Thanks.